Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day, welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page. That's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can also hear us live on audio streaming at Evox PBS Receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Yesterday, the Japan Credit Rating Agency Limited, or JCR, affirmed the Philippines investment grade credit rating of A- with a stable outlook, citing the country's sustained economic growth. A portion of the JCR report said the ratings, which is A-, mainly reflect Philippines' high and sustained economic growth that is supported by solid domestic demand, low-level external debt, and resilience to external shocks supported by accumulated foreign exchange reserves. An investment-grade rating signals low credit risk and favorable financing terms for critical public services and infrastructure. And for this year, the agency projects Philippine economic growth to remain in the upper 5% range, that's supported by robust domestic demand, despite uncertainties in the external environment. The JCR report cited several reforms that the government implemented to help boost growth. So that includes the administration's Build Better More program, which aims to ramp up infrastructure spending, enhancing the country's infrastructure competitiveness by leveraging private sector investments. And that's true. The public-private partnerships, or PPP, and the recent passage of the Create More Act to create or enhance ease of doing business, and to clarify the scope of value-added tax, and at the same time rationalize the VAT system and excise tax refund system, and clarify income tax benefits. So the JCR said the country's poverty rate is also declining at a faster than expected pace due to increased average hourly wages. So the credit rating agency also cited the country's strong external position and ample foreign exchange reserves, as well as government efforts towards fiscal consolidation under the medium-term fiscal framework. So the JCR said despite increased uncertainty due to changes in U.S. Tariff policies, the Philippines' foreign exchange and liquidity position remains solid, and the JCR expects the economy to retain high resilience to external shocks going forward. So at the same time, the BSP, or Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Governor Eli Remolona Jr. welcomed the JCR's credit rating affirmation. And to explain the latest rating that was graded by the JCR, or the Japan Credit Rating Agency, we now have on the line the Chief Economist of the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, none other than Mr. Michael Ricafort. Michael, good morning. This is Jerome Toledo of Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michael. Can you hear me? Okay, I believe we don't have Michael Ricafort, the chief economist of the RCBC, or the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, on the line. So, yeah, going back to the what I discussed here before we let in the chief economist of the RCBC. So, again, the Philippines got an A minus investment grade credit rating, which means the country has a stable outlook. And at the same time, it reflects the Philippines' high and sustained economic growth that is supported by a solid domestic demand, low level external debt, and resilience to external shocks supported by accumulated foreign exchange reserves. So I believe we now have Michael Ricafort on the line. Good morning, Michael. Again, this is Jerome Toledo from Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Rome.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for joining us in the program. Okay. So, yeah, yesterday the Japan Credit Rating Agency just affirmed the Philippines investment grade credit rating of A minus with a stable outlook. So, that's citing the country's sustained economic growth. So, what does this signify?
Well, this is a good signal, Mr. Jerome, considering the fact that Japan Credit Rating Agency, or JCRA, has given the Philippines the highest credit rating among major credit rating agencies. That's A minus.
Mm-hmm.
That's three notches above the minimum investment grade, and that's the first ever A rating for the Philippines that has been there for 5 years already.
Uh-huh.
It started in June 2020 at the height of the pandemic. That's the irony of it all, in a positive manner, in a positive context. Meaning to say, why is this important? Well, it has been sustained for 5 years despite the pandemic. And, the other Japanese credit rating agency, RNI, also
Mm-hmm.
upgraded the Philippines a few months ago to A minus. They're now the same. What's the relevance of this? For you, my friends from uh, Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, they mentioned the fact that this is the penultimate score or rating of the Philippines. Everything is considered: economic,
Mm-hmm.
credit, political, and everything about the Philippines. So before foreign investors, for that matter, before they put in or invest in the Philippines, hundreds of millions, if not even billions of pesos or even dollars, uh, they look at that. That's the average, the overall view on the country, the the investment worthiness, the credit worthiness. So
Uh-huh.
if it's high, meaning to say it's favorable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meaning for investors, especially foreign direct investors and even foreign portfolio investors, their motivation, of course, is to make more profits or make more money by investing here in the country. So that's a good signal for them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, from the point of view, that's good signaling, telling the world that they have the confidence, they have the confianza to invest here in the country in a large way, because they feel that their investments are safe. It's going to deliver in terms of income, in terms of profits,
Uh-huh.
and of course, all the business and economic opportunities that come along. Same goes for our country's creditors.
Mm-hmm.
Before they lend to the Philippines, they also look at the credit ratings, like the one affirmed by JCRA. Before they lend to the country billions of pesos, if not dollars. So that signals that that tells the world that the Philippines is credit worthy.
Mm.
It's gonna
Good
pay
point.
principal payments. It's gonna pay interest, and in a timely manner. And if the country has a relatively high credit rating such as that at A minus,
Mm-hmm.
it meaning to say it's relatively safe. It's investment grade. It's among the highest in the spectrum. If it belongs to the A universe,
Mm-hmm.
That's very good credit.
Good credit. Okay.
Yeah, they'll be able to get a return on their money. Of course, they're lending to the Philippines. Their consideration, their motivation is that they'll be paid the interest.
Okay.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you have, since the country has a relatively
Yeah.
favorable credit rating, meaning to say the country would get, well, the benefit from our point of view, on top of the fact that more countries and institutions around the world, international and foreign, big institutions are willing to lend to us.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And at the same time, we get better terms.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
lower borrowing costs. That's the tangible benefit for our country, for our
Mm.
government
I see.
in
Okay.
managing the budget deficit and the debt. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah, that's a very good signal.
Okay. A good
Despite
signal.
everything,
Mm-hmm. All right. So
despite noises and largely on the country's economic and credit
yeah. Okay.
fundamentals.
So meaning to say, we're setting a good position to our local and foreign creditors, since you mentioned that upon that investment grade that was given to us, or that was affirmed by the Japan Credit Rating Agency. So we're in a good position.
True, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Favorable decision at that. It's not just the, why this matter, because the Japanese are among our biggest sources of investors, especially
Mm-hmm.
foreign direct investments. For many months, many years, they've been the biggest source of FDIs into the country. Those
And
who invest in the export processing zone. At the same time, yeah, they also support the country,
uh-huh.
especially in financing the large infrastructure projects,
Uh-huh.
such as the subway, the biggest infrastructure project so far, the
That's
Metro
right.
Manila subway project, and among many other infrastructure projects. And,
Right.
at the same time, other than that, there are other major credit rating agencies around the world,
Mm-hmm.
like S&P. S&P is a triple B. Now, since November 26, 2024, a few months ago, 6 months ago, they have already upgraded the outlook on the Philippines to positive from stable. Meaning
Mm-hmm.
to say, based on the convention of credit rating agencies in their parlance, within 12 to 18 months, or safely, well, of the official statement goes 1 to 2 years, there is a chance that S&P, with a positive outlook, with the current rating on the Philippines at triple B, that could be upgraded eventually to A minus. So
Mm-hmm.
that would move in line with, so going into the A universe.
Mm-hmm.
And that would also be the first time among the major, the big three Western credit rating agencies to
Mm-hmm.
go to A minus. That's three notches above the minimum investment grade. So
Uh-huh.
this is also important because from the point of the Westerners, US, Europe, and other developed countries, that affirms the initial confident view given by the Japanese credit rating agencies, JCRA, as affirmed lately, as well as RNI. So there's a good promise eventually that since the two Japanese credit rating agencies started the lead, so even the other Western and major global credit rating agencies, starting with S&P,
Mm-hmm.
would also, well, if they upgrade the country to A minus, that would mean, big funds around the world, they base their decisions on credit ratings.
Mm,
So they
okay.
would increase their investments also into the Philippines. They would also increase their lending to the Philippines at much more favorable terms, at in terms of payment, longer payment periods, lower borrowing costs,
Mm-hmm.
and you would see also more foreign direct investments, more locators into the eco zones and even outside the eco zones. Because it doesn't come as a surprise, or all of these credit rating agencies, both the Japanese JCRA, the RNI, so that's the Western ones like S&P, Fitch,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Fitch also just affirmed the credit rating just a few weeks ago, as
Yeah,
well
in
as
April, I
Moody's.
remember, Michael, they affirm triple B investment grade credit rating to our country, which means that we are in a good credit, and the possibility of being in a default would not happen anytime soon.
Yeah, true, Mr. Jerome. And
Hmm.
there's already that consistency of confidence. That's a seal of, well, in terms of, well, that's a strong signal on international investor confidence, the
Hmm.
kumpiyansa
Yeah,
on the Philippines.
confidence.
If they put money here, they lend to us. They're confident that it would be repaid, and we're going to benefit because, lower risk premium, as you mentioned, lower risk of default. So they would require
Hmm.
narrower spread, lower interest rate, because of the lower risk, the better risk profile, the better ability to pay by the country. And, of course, that would be sustained if there would be uh, fiscal reform measures, tax reform measures to narrow the budget deficit. We have seen that. The country has a good record at that for the past 20 years.
Hmm.
Three previous administrations, three previous economic teams, they have been in unison, consistent, conservative, in ensuring increasing sources of recurring sources of tax revenues for the government that would increase the ability to pay by the government, and they
Hmm.
really like that. That's a sign of through the reform measures. And just lately, the other reform measures that the recent that was passed was the CIMEPA a week ago.
Hmm.
So that's also expected to generate additional revenues on top of, well, for the government, it's 25 billion until 2030.
Hmm.
That's
Right.
the estimate. So they like that.
No, all right. That's.
They simplified the passive income taxation, introduced other reforms in the
Hmm.
way, uh, well, for the various aspects of the CIMEPA. And of course, at the same time, there were, uh, well, for instance,
Hmm. Okay.
the FCDU, tax on passive income, has been maintained. So that would still help attract more foreign investors into the country.
I see.
By,
Okay.
and that's the consistency, actually. Reforms that are consistent with that end in mind to help attract more investors into the country, to put more money here. They continue to enjoy the some incentives, so to speak. Uh, even the Create More that was just passed a few
Okay.
months ago. Those are very good signals
Oh,
from the point of view of our creditors,
I
the
see.
credit rating agencies that make the assessment, and of course, the based on those credit ratings, that's the first ones that foreign investors look at. Will I put money in the Philippines? Okay, it's good. A minus, high. Okay, there's high confidence. That's allowed by the charters of many, for instance, foreign fund managers. Those who mentioned billions of dollars worth of retirement funds, pension
Hmm.
funds
Hmm.
in developed countries. So they look around the world, search for opportunities, and if they see the Philippines has
Okay.
high credit rating A minus, okay, that's the minimum requirement for them
And that's
to put more money
uh,
in the
eh,
country.
and that's a good thing that we are getting that uh, good credit rating from our creditors, or specifically foreign credit agencies. And at the same time, too, if I may connect this, Michael, so the recently the Bureau of Treasury just released a report that says that the national government's outstanding debt rose to 16.7, if I may, 16.75 trillion pesos. So that's 0.41% higher than its previous debt stock at 16.68 trillion that was recorded as of end March. Would that affect the or do you see any correlation between the credit ratings and at the same time this debt, given that it increased at 0.41%?
Yeah, actually, it's very important to manage the debt to GDP ratio of the country.
Uh-huh.
It starts with narrowing the budget deficit. Of course, there are two major components in the budget deficit, meaning budget deficit meaning the government spends more than what it earns. Government spending is higher compared to the income that it earns through primarily through taxes. That's
Mm.
why it's very important to have fiscal reform measures, tax reform measures,
Yeah.
and there are also pending reform measures for legislation like the right sizing of the government to
Yes.
further boost the productivity of the government, using the harnessing the best technologies and and at the same time reducing the cost, so it's boosting the productivity, the output
Yes, that's
by
right.
the use of the best technologies. And that's more disciplined spending starts and ends with good governance, anti-wastage, anti-leakage, and of course
Mm-hmm.
the intensified tax collections,
I see.
even starting with the basing on existing tax laws, and the last resort would be new taxes or higher taxes. That will be the last option.
Okay.
Uh,
And
so,
mm-hmm.
it's a matter of bringing down the debt to GDP ratio. It reached 62%. That's apples to apples, the metric compared to the other countries. So, international standard is 60%. So, it's better to bring it down to below 60% to make it sustainable. Debt management, fiscal management,
Mm-hmm.
over the long term and for the coming generations, meaning to say the country can sustain its borrowings. And with this, we're still near that. We still have the maintenance of favorable credit ratings. It's telling the world, these credit rating agencies, it's still safe to lend to the Philippines. It's still
Mm-hmm.
safe and the environment is conducive for
Mm-hmm.
investments and for credit and lending to the Philippines
I see.
because of the sound fundamentals. Why? Because the key pillars of the country's credit ratings. First, it's the economic growth. The country's economic growth is still among the fastest growing in the region.
Mm-hmm.
Had it not been for the external challenges like the volatility due to the Trump's tariffs,
Yes.
the trade
Mm-hmm.
wars, Philippine economy would have grown much faster.
Mm-hmm.
And if the economy grows faster, it's going to reduce the debt to GDP ratio because you have a bigger denominator. It would have been lower than 62%. And the target is to bring it to below 60% to
Mm-hmm.
sustain everything, the favorable credit ratings also. And, the number two pillar is the strong external position. The country's GIR, or gross international reserves, 105.5 billion. It came out just a few hours ago. That's 7.3 months worth of imports. The international standard is 3 to 4 months. It's nearly double the
Mm-hmm. Okay.
international threshold. That's why it's going to provide additional buffer and cushion for the local currency, which has been appreciating. Pesos appreciated in the strongest in 1 to 2 years recently at 55 levels, coming from the record high of 59 posted last December. And the third pillar, it would be effective monetary policy that would help bring down or support benign inflation.
All right.
Inflation came out yesterday at 1.3%, the slowest in 5.5 years. And that would, the effective monetary policy would, that resulted in benign and inflation that's relatively low and very much manageable. It's even below the BSP's target of 2 to 4%. That
Mm-hmm.
would facilitate and justify further monetary easing or rate cuts as early as
Rate cuts.
the
Mm-hmm.
next BSP meeting on June 19. And of course, those are the three major pillars
Pillars.
that's at least supporting the major pillars that would ensure a conducive environment for the country to still grow in a sustained manner among the fastest growing
Uh-huh.
economies. There's still improvements, of course,
Okay.
filling up the gaps and eventually making it more inclusive and
Mm-hmm.
eventually,
Okay.
yeah, that has improved the country's
Okay.
credit profile and
Profile.
investment profile from the point of view of
Okay.
international investors. That's a strong sign of confidence,
Okay.
of
Speaking.
confianza on the country.
Okay. And speaking of improving our investors profile. So recently the PSA has released its inflation rate for May, and the inflation rate, according to Philippine Statistics Authority, it slowed down to 1.3% in May. So that's down from 1.4% in April. So that's a 1% decrease. And the NCR posted a slower inflation rate of 1.7% in May. So that's down from 2.4% the previous month. And also this morning, Michael, we got the employment numbers here. So let me check here. So but basically it says that the employment rate went up. So that's in the range of 94% nationwide. So what can you say about this one? So regarding this, or I'm sorry, that's a 95.9% employment rate. So that's an increase of the employment rate. So what can you say about this?
Well, it's still relatively, yeah, it may have picked up a bit from a little less than 4% unemployment rate, and the record low was last December at 3.1%. But still, that's still among the best, nevertheless.
Mm-hmm.
In 20 years since revised record started in 2005. It came from years and decades ago, maybe a few, maybe 10 to 20 years ago. It used to be high, the unemployment rate, at around 6 to 7%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but in recent years, it has been brought down to 3 to 4% levels where we are right now. And,
Mm-hmm.
we're now slowly moving into the more developed Asian and ASEAN countries with unemployment rate of 2 to 3%.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still relatively decent and relatively strong, because of course, there are seasonality factors. Whenever there's the Christmas holiday season during
Mm-hmm.
December, there are more business opportunities, and that's why that was the best for the employment data. The unemployment and employment data
Mm-hmm.
in the typical year, and that has sustained there. And
Uh-huh.
meaning to say, and the other metrics also are kind of
Okay.
consistent
And
about it,
okay.
because we have seen also,
Mm-hmm.
sectors that continue to improve.
Mm-hmm.
We're largely a service-driven economy, almost 60%, and we're a consumer-driven economy, almost 75% of the economy. And the key pillars, yeah, there may be some challenges, true,
Uh-huh.
because of the Trump's higher tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, and trade wars, causing some exporters to be cautious. Of course, because it's going to slow down exports, it's going to slow down global trade, investments, because it's still highly uncertain. Where would Trump set the tariffs? And that's
Uh-huh.
why there's some cautiousness on some manufacturers, especially export oriented,
Mm-hmm.
if they, on their inventories, their capacity. So they're wait and see, just
Wait.
like the rest of the world. Although our exports are relatively lower compared to our neighboring countries, it's the merchandise exports are like 3 to 5 times lower than theirs. So they have a bigger headache than us in planning all of these, no, in managing export sales, especially to the US, because Trump is still kind of unsettled as to what would be the definite tariffs that he would set. And
Okay.
yeah, for now, it
Mm-hmm.
was a 90-day pause on tariffs to a 10% baseline for
Mm-hmm.
most countries, except for China's 30%, meaning to say that's a tax. Exporters are taxed 10%. And there are even talks that, you know, by the time that the 90 days pause would be over by July 9,
I see.
there is a possibility of, well, talks that the Trump administration may consider
Okay.
raising them to 15%
Okay.
tax.
All
That's
right.
why it's slowing
Mm-hmm.
things down around the world,
Yes.
slower
Mm-hmm.
investments, slower trade. That's why, even the
Okay.
jobs for in the supply chain of
Okay.
exports,
All right.
if they're wait and see, they'll put on hold new investments, expansion projects, even the jobs that they create. They may even have to rationalize jobs in the various supply chains around the world, especially those that export to the U.S. And of course, it's going to slow down not just in the U.S., but the whole world, even the GDP growth. That's why even the credit rating agencies, the multilaterals, have reduced the GDP growth of the world, and to some extent even indirectly in the Philippines because of that. And and that has caused some slight pickup also in the unemployment rate. It's because of that wait and see. It's the Trump's policies are, well, they're slowing things down, and that's of course that's the reality. Some slowdown. Of course, we have resilient sectors like remittances at $40 billion. That's unique to us. We're number 4 in the world for that. The fourth largest. The BPOs were second largest in the world.
Okay.
It's earning close to 40 billion. Those are the offsetting factors. Even the tourism sector that's earning a record 13 billion last year and still growing. So you're offsetting it with the external risk factors that's happening, especially in the US and in the other in China that could be adversely affected by the tariffs. So you know, but the Philippines is still
Mike,
among the fastest growing nevertheless.
Well, Mike, as much as we would like to discuss regarding the economic aspects of these inflation rates, at the same time, the investment grades that we got from multiple credit agencies, but we don't have much material time. But anyway, I hope you can accept our invitation the next time we will discuss these economic developments here in the country. But anyway, thank you, Michael Ricafort, the Chief Economist of the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation. Thank you, Michael, for joining us in the program.
You're most welcome, Mr. Jerome, and your viewers have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Michael. And with that, we conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. And you just heard Michael Ricafort, the Chief Economist of the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, as he gave us his thoughts on the investment grade that was given by the Japan Credit Rating Agency, as well as the inflation rate and the debt of the Philippines that just rose from 16.68% to 16.75 trillion pesos. And together with our technical and production team, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay, love the Philippines.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.